Welcome to another podcast of Gio'ism, the path to success, where we bring you into the minds of millionaires, billionaires, and very successful people that you should know about. We have today Marc from NetLaw. And how you doing today, Marc?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure for us to have you and the support that you give us here at HGI. It's been a blessing to work with you. How long have you been with NetLaw?
Yeah, so just a little over 12 years now. So
Wow.
so it's been a fantastic adventure and a great part of my journey through the financial industry. And I am so glad that I found NetLaw for sure.
I'm sure that's amazing. And how long have you been working with HGI?
Yeah, so the HGI relationship, I believe, started around 2016. So,
Oh, wow.
almost 11 years? Yeah, 10 going on 11 years now.
Wow. So you're one of their original vendors.
Yeah, anytime that I'm on the stage at the conventions, they always say that, I was there since the beginning. So I was one of the first product providers that they brought on.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, did you know Hubert, Mr. Humphrey, from previous when he was at Transamerica or Primerica?
Yeah, we did. We knew Hubert from other business opportunities. And then, when he started HGI, that's when, a couple phone calls were made and we were right on their platform. So, yeah, we love Hubert for sure. We love everything that he's done in his life and appreciate that he puts his trust into us as well.
That's amazing. I was looking at a podcast that Grant Cardone did with him where he literally he was trying to make Hubert say that all the millionaires that he interviews in his podcast he made, but he's humble, so he's like, no, I didn't.
Well, there's nothing wrong with being humble.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. What are the things that you like about HGI, of working with HGI?
Yeah, well, I think it first starts with their leadership, right? Hubert and his son Jody and all the executive team have really embraced what NetLaw has to offer. And then they made the transition of bringing us in and then providing everything that is needed to their agents. They gave us the opportunity to meet all their top leaders and have, in-person meetings, webinars with the top people. And then they, spread the word, through their downlines, and it exploded with HGI. It's been a wonderful relationship where, it's been more profitable year after year after year. So it's been, to say the least, wonderful to work with HGI from top to bottom. Everyone is A-class.
That's great to hear. When we bring you in, what products do you provide for HGI, and how is NetLaw? I think I was talking to you either in Vegas, it was in Hawaii, but I remember you were mentioning something about it was a lot of lawyers, they got together, and something that would normally cost tens of thousands, you guys were able to put something together. I liked how you were telling me the story. Could you expand on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So NetLaw is an estate planning online tool that allows clients to easily create their estate planning documents without leaving their home, or they could do it at work without the need of going into a brick and mortar law firm. So the way that we created it was, there were attorneys that came in and helped us build our software. So, it's an attorney. We have attorneys in all 50 states that, looked over the software, built it according to state-specific rules, according to the American Bar Association. So you're getting the same exact documents that you would as if you went into an attorney's office. And like you said, spend thousands of dollars at an attorney's office, or you could pay a fraction of that using our software to complete your will, your probate avoidance trust, your healthcare documents, your power of attorney. We even have a pet trust. We have special needs trust. So it is a full comprehensive program that we offer. Same attorneys, same documents. You're just using a software to create these documents, kind of like TurboTax, right? We're all not CPAs, but we can create our taxes online and we do it legally, right? Same thing here. The attorneys have created the software. You just fill in the blanks and it creates your estate planning documents. Easy.
That's amazing. Is that because I have heard the horror stories of a husband or a wife that are on life support,
Mhm.
and the husband can or cannot have the authority, or even with a kid, where they would like to do something, but there's nothing in writing that they are allowed to. Is that something that you guys take care of as well? And what is that called?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have the 3 healthcare documents, like I mentioned. We have our healthcare surrogate that names someone to speak or act for you if you can't. You're in a coma, you're sick, right? So something happens, you can't speak for yourself. You have that person or people who are named to act for you when you can't act for yourself. Absolutely, we have that.
Definitely something very important. So, for the people that are listening, what would you say is the biggest benefit, and why should they do this? I know, they'll get a life insurance or they'll get an annuity, but why should they do this as well as part of their package that they're doing?
Yeah, well, estate planning is so important. And unfortunately, it's one of the biggest things that people procrastinate on. Nobody likes to think about dying or talk about what happens when I die. We just don't like to do it.
Right.
But it's one of those things that we have to do, right? So why it's important? Well, the key word is protection, right? When we do our estate plan, we're talking about protecting our assets, making sure that these assets get to the beneficiaries of our choosing without any kind of government interference. We're talking about, and God forbid, mom and dad pass away and there's minor children. Who's going to take care of those kids? Who's going to have custody of the kids? We need to make sure that in our will, our guardians are listed as well. So we have, if you're a parent that has underage child, that's probably the most important reason you're doing that, right? Because we all have to protect our kids. And then, of course, with we have a power of attorney. So, you didn't pass away, but you're sick or in the hospital and you can't handle your finances. Your power of attorney can come in to handle all of that for you. So nothing lapses, everything gets paid. And we've already spoke about the healthcare documents. That's why estate planning is so important, to make sure that everything's protected for, unfortunately, everyone's going to pass away. But when that time comes, everything's already taken care of. There's no undue stress for the family because everything is already prepared.
Right. That makes total sense. And I think there's an awareness nowadays about that. I think COVID opened a lot of people's eyes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. COVID in its entire terribleness, right? It did open eyes, and we saw a big boom in estate planning preparation from clients. You're 100% right.
That makes total sense. And you know what? I'm going to make sure that us and our people know and are aware. And Jody does a great job at that as well. But, I see because the idea why we're here, as you know, is we want to help people. We want to make sure that they're protected. And we don't think about those things, and I think it's something that's very important to share with the people we're trying to protect, that this is basically the icing on the cake of their household protection, if you will.
Right. Right. Yes, absolutely. It's all about, being educated on why you need it, and then the ability to move forward and actually do it. That's the steps right there. That people need to be educated on why this is important. We've all heard will and trust, and we all know that it's important, but why is it important? And that's what we educate every day on.
Thank you so much, Marc, for your time. It's definitely very beneficial, and we want more awareness of the importance of doing something like this when we're, helping people.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate the time that you've given us today, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Yes, for sure. Are you going to Europe?
I am not. I'm gonna stay home from that one. It's a little bit too far and too much time to stay away from the company, especially
Right.
now. Kids are getting back to school and everybody's planning this. So
Well, then I guess I'll see you at Top Gun in January.
absolutely, I will be there for sure.
All right. Sounds good, Marc. Thank
All
you
right.
so much. You have a
Yeah,
blessed one.
you too. Thank you so much.